Good morning, Mr. Martinez.
Good morning.
My name is Dr. Field. I work here with the trauma department.
Yes.
And one of the things that I do is pass by the patients and take some time and talk with them about their drinking, what their thoughts are about it, and what, if anything, they might want to do about that.
I see.
Can we take some time, about 10 or 15 minutes, to talk about that?
Yes, of course.
So one of the things that happens when you're admitted to the hospital is that they draw your blood and they look at several different things within your blood. And one of the things they look at is what's called a blood alcohol concentration. It gives us a general idea of how much alcohol is in your system at the time that you were injured.
I see.
Most people are familiar with zero point zero 0.08, which is the legal limit if you're driving. I know you weren't driving, but most people know that number. And then 0 is obviously if you haven't been drinking at all or it's been a while since you had a drink. Your BAC was actually 0.07.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And what do you make of that? What are your thoughts about that?
I really am not very familiar with these numbers. I've heard of them.
Uh-huh.
I never drank and drive, but with what you're telling me, then it was very close to a limit, right? It was very high.
It was. It's kind of hard to make sense of the numbers.
Right.
And it sounds like one thing you're really committed to is not drinking and driving.
No, I don't.
Okay. And what do you like about drinking?
Well, it relaxes me, and I really don't drink that much. I drink usually on the weekends, especially on Fridays, because with the work crew that I'm with, the supervisor brings us free beer, so it gives us a chance to get together after work and have a few beers, relax.
And so at the end of a hard week, you're spending time with the crew, and the boss is giving you some beer to reward, I suppose, hard work.
Yes, that's really the...
Yeah. And that's kind of your typical pattern.
Yes, it is. It really is every week. Yeah, that's about it.
Okay. And what else do you like about drinking?
Well, it gives me a chance to, talk with my friends and feel at ease after work. So mostly it relaxes me.
Helps you relax, and really sounds like it's a way to hang out with your friends and spend some time with them and talk about life. Been working all week, and it's not something that can happen.
Also, I'll have to say that sometimes I also drink because I feel bad if I, was the only person who didn't drink, or, since the supervisor brings us the beer as a kind of a reward, shall we say, I would feel bad to not, take advantage of the opportunity, and they might think that I don't want to be part of the group, so, it might affect my job. I don't know. That's the reason.
Yeah. So you don't want to be the only one who's not drinking.
Exactly.
With the other people you work with.
Yes.
And then it sounds like part of you doesn't want to offend your boss.
No, definitely. No, I need the job, and I don't know. I mean, maybe he wouldn't say anything, but you never know. So
you're just not sure.
Exactly.
Yeah. What do you like less about drinking?
Sometimes I feel I'm not in control. I feel dizzy. Sometimes I lose balance, and I don't like that. I don't like to be, out of control. I'm afraid it's going to get worse, so that's what I don't like.
It might get worse.
Yes.
And what else do you like less about drinking?
Well, even though they bring us free beer every Friday, sometimes other work crews come from other companies, and we get together, and not everybody has, enough money to buy the liquor, so we have to, well, we don't have to, but we give like a voluntary amount of money to buy the beer or liquor for the other group, and so it's money that I could be spending on my family instead of on the alcohol.
So everybody chips in, and you
and it would be,
give your part.
Imagine if I was the only one that didn't give any money, they'd say, why, aren't you giving any money? So.
So sometimes when you guys are finished drinking the beer that the boss has passed along to you, you also spend some time with another crew. It sounds like maybe you go out, maybe you don't, but everybody kind of chips in for
Yes, that's true.
more liquor, beer.
It doesn't happen every single week, but it does happen often. And as I said, we give a certain amount of money, and again, it adds up. So it's money
Yeah.
that I'm losing, really.
Yeah, yeah. So on the one hand, it sounds like it's a way to be with the people that you work with, be friends with them. Um, Part of you doesn't want to offend your boss by not drinking, and you don't want to stand out
Exactly.
among the people you work with. And on the other hand, sometimes it does cost you money.
Yes, yes, it does.
And you don't want to feel like you're losing control. I guess maybe there are times you feel dizzy or maybe not in.
Out of balance, and it doesn't make me feel nice, and so it's something that really is not good. That's the part I don't like about drinking.
A few might be okay, but
Yes.
after a while it sort of starts to affect your balance and other things.
Yes, it does.
And on a scale of 1 to 10, if we can think about it this way, with 1 not being important at all and 10 being the most important thing you could do right now, how important is it to you make a change in your drinking?
Oh, I'd say a 6.
A 6.
Yes.
So a little more than the middle. Not
Yes.
the middle, a little bit more.
Yes.
And what makes you give it a 6 instead of a 2 or a 3?
Well, I really want to change. After what happened, I think there has to be a change, and I really would like to drink less. I can't say I'm going to stop drinking, but I do want to try to at least drink less and be more in control.
So it sounds like maybe it's something that crossed your mind before this happened to you, and now that this has happened.
Definitely, it did. It did many times, but again, I was more afraid of what other people might say if I didn't drink with them or whatever, not being part of the group. But now I think it's more important to look for other factors.
So when that happens, when the boss brings beer, it kind of puts you in a rock and a hard place where you're kind of stuck. On the one hand, it sounds like part of you doesn't want to drink or wants to make sure you only have a few. On the other hand, you don't want to upset your boss and you want to be with your friends.
Well, that's true. I like to drink, a couple of beers, but not very much. But, sometimes they keep on drinking. The beer's there, so I probably drink more than I should. But I do want to drink less, yes.
And on a scale of 1 to 10, where 1 is not confident at all and 10 is the most confident you could be about something, how confident are you that you could do that you could cut back on the number of drinks you have, just have a few when those occasions come up and Friday comes around?
Oh, I'd have to say an 8 or perhaps even a 9. I mean,
Really high.
I can't commit, but right now I can't really be sure. But I would say about an 8 or a 9.
So really very, very confident that this is something you could do if you put your mind to it.
Well, in the past, whenever I want to achieve something, get a job or whatever, I do it. So I know I can. I can't assure you that I will, but I'm certainly going to try.
You've been able to overcome other
yes.
challenges in your life, take care of yourself and your family and
Yes.
whatnot. And so that gives you a sense that if you put your mind to it, you'd be able
I can do it.
to
Yes.
do this as well. And so it sounds like it's been on your mind to make a change, and now this has happened, and so you're thinking more about how you might tell your friends or your boss or just keep it down to 1 or 2 drinks when those occasions arise. But what do you think you're most likely to do moving forward?
Well, as soon as I get out of the hospital, get back to work, then I'll probably just start drinking less and just keep it at a certain level where I don't feel out of control and
Stay in control.
yeah, I think that people will probably understand, but after what happened, I'm really more interested in my health and what other people might think. So I will try and reduce the number of beers that I drink.
It's more important to you to take care of yourself than to maybe live up to the expectations of your boss or whatever they might be, really. You're not even sure
Exactly.
what they are. But
and to provide for my family is important, and the money that I am sometimes spending on alcohol, sometimes I don't even drink that alcohol. It's for other people to drink. I'm not going to do that anymore because it's really affecting my family.
You could save that money.
Yes, definitely.
This may or may not be helpful to you, but I wonder kind of what would, if you imagine being there on Friday, and your boss is pulling up with a case of beer or whatnot. Your friends are there. You've just finished a hard day of work. How might you deal with that differently? What can you do differently?
Well, the first place, I would probably be very conscious of how many beers I'm going to drink. I would probably start by setting a limit. And of course, I'm not going to mention it to the rest of the group, but I would just, say to myself, I'm not going to drink more than maybe 4 beers at all in the whole night. And I'll see if I can manage that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So maybe not do or say anything different, except in your own mind, kind of commit to just having 3 or 4, and being done with it.
Yes, I can't really say that I would stop drinking from one day to the next. I like to drink sometimes, but I would be aware of how many I'm drinking, not just like other times where I'm drinking. I don't really know if I drank 4 or 10.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so making that drop and keeping it at 4
yes.
would give you more of a sense of control over yourself and your body, and also make you feel safer and save money for your family.
Yes,
like
yes,
that.
definitely.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense, and that's an important step forward, and I'm glad you're willing to think about that. I can imagine Friday night is a little kind of not the easiest thing to deal with for you, but it sounds like you've really got a clear idea in your mind about what you'll do when that comes along, when that opportunity presents itself again.
Yeah, this was a painful experience, but looking back now, it's probably there was a reason that now I have to be more careful of how much I drink, and so it might have been something like a blessing in disguise, so to speak.
You can make something good out of this experience.
Exactly.
Yeah. Mr. Martinez, I really appreciate your time and your honesty and willing to commit to the things we've talked about today.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you very much for talking.
Is there anything else? Is there anything that I can do for you before I head out?
No, thank you very much.
Okay. Be well and take care of yourself.
Thank you very much.